Hello, what's going on? Starstrike here from the Dylan Squared channel, and today I'm just going to be talking mostly, actually no completely, I'm going to be talking all about my opinions on the current state of Titanfall 2. Obviously this weekend and I think last weekend as well, there was, and right at this point in time you can still jump on and play it, the Titanfall 2 multiplayer tech test. It's like pre-alpha for the community to play, just to test out servers and the game and all that. So this is some gameplay that you're watching now that I got earlier today. It was one of my first matches actually. I think I did pretty well considering I hadn't played before. But this this build at least, which it actually feels and plays like a almost finished game, because I reckon they're going to do the similar thing that they did with the original Titanfall. With the original Titanfall's beta was pretty much almost the complete game. There's just with a couple minor changes. I'm a bit worried that they're going to do the same thing with Titanfall 2, because from what I've played of Titanfall 2 so far, I haven't played a lot of it. I'm like level 6 or 7 or something. It's very fun with the multiplayer, and I know that they've confirmed that they're doing a single-player campaign, which I'm not very confident on, especially if it turns out like Titanfall's single-player campaign, which was just multiplayer with bots, which was just not very good. With the beta for the first Titanfall, what was in the beta was practically the entire game, including all the content. There just wasn't enough content in Titanfall, in the original Titanfall, and I reckon that is why the game kind of flopped, in my opinion, is because it was a good game, the gameplay was there, the hype was there, everything was there, except the only thing that wasn't there was the content to keep people playing. There was a huge lack of content in that game, not many weapons, not many Titans, which was a bit stupid considering the whole main gimmick of the game was the Titans and the movement system. Now, the reason I'm not so confident on how Titanfall 2 is going to do is mainly because one of the main, selling points of the original Titanfall and what they're trying to do with this Titanfall, I think, is to kind of show off, oh, we have this cool movement system, you can wall run, you can double jump, you can boost around everywhere. But the problem with that is, at this point in time, games such as like Black Ops 3, and there's other games out there as well, have adopted that kind of movement style, which has really kind of made what made the original Titanfall special not special. It's just kind of another... From playing it, it's fun, but it kind of feels like another generic first-person shooter. Like, there's... it's too... I don't know, it feels a lot... like it's been done before, which obviously it has, it's the second game in the series, but like it feels like it's been done better than it's been done in this game. Another thing I'm worried about is, again, going back to the beta for the original Titanfall, the content that was in that beta, like I said earlier, was practically the entire content of the game. It was practically just the game. I'm hoping, even though this is obviously pre-alpha, I'm hoping that they do add more weapons and more Titans, because at the moment there's only a handful of weapons and 2 Titans, and I know that they'll add more because it's only the pre-alpha, and then beta and all that, they'll add more and more and more. But what I'm hoping is that what I'm hoping is that they add enough content to keep players interested this time. Whereas last time, that's where they really fell short. So, I'm going to start talking about the positives, because I feel like I've dwelled a lot on the negatives of this tech test so far, but I really have to say, the gameplay is ridiculously fun. I know that there were some issues in the first weekend of the multiplayer alpha tech test, in which the Titans were too hard to get, not strong enough. There was a lot of Titan balancing issues there. I feel like this weekend of the tech test, they've kind of fixed some of that. They've patched the game a couple days, I think, or maybe mid last week, I don't know, a couple days before this this weekend's tech test came out, they did some patching just to change a couple things, and I think in what I've experienced so far, it was very, like, you got 1 to 2 Titans a match, which felt about right. It was just a good, you know, balance of the amount of time it takes to get the Titans and their power levels and all that stuff. What I do have to say is the customization in this so far is not, well, it is there, but it's not at the point I think it needs to be to compete with some of the other first-person shooters that are going to be coming out around the same time. The creator class, it has some very, like, the menus are very nicely done. They have really nice animations. It has your, you know, soldier guy in the background, similar to those of you who played Call of Duty Ghosts. It has the same similar sort of creator class style with the soldier in the background. But at the moment, there just aren't enough weapons to, you know, make it really good enough. But I know, like, later on, if hopefully they'll add more weapons, and it'll pick up. Another thing I wanted to talk about is, if I can actually remember what it was, is the game modes. In this tech test, there are 3 game modes. There's Vamped. Is it Vamped? I think it's Vamped. I'm just gonna say it's Vamped. Vamped, it's like it's pretty much just domination. As well as there is their equivalent of Team Deathmatch and their new mode called Bounty Hunt, which, if you played the first one, the first Titanfall, it's like their main mode in that game. It's practically, you have the bots as well, the grunts, as well as the players, and you just do all that stuff, and you have to stop the ship from escaping, all that sort of stuff. It's pretty much the same mode, except there's the addition of, you get money for doing well, getting kills, all that stuff, and you use that to, at the end of rounds, to deposit that into these banks, which make up your points, pretty much, of how to win. Another thing that's really good about this game so far is that the frame rate. I'm playing on PS4, and it stays at 60 FPS. It doesn't really drop. It's even in, you know, as you just saw there in the gameplay, I jumped down to my Titan, and there was just a lot of explosions and everything happening, jumping around, and it stayed pretty smooth at 60. I'm pretty sure this is recorded at 30, so you won't see it stay at 60, but it is at 60. Another thing I'm going to say, which is really, really, really good about this, is the animations. The animations are smooth. They look nice, like the animations of getting in and out of your Titans. The eject animation, as you saw before, and the animation just then when I kind of slid under the legs of my Titan and jumped in the back. They're all really good. They're really smooth, and all of the abilities and gunplay and everything in this game is really smooth. The one word I'd probably use to, the 2 words, sorry, I'll probably use to describe Titanfall 2 at the moment is fun and smooth. Those are the 2 main things I'd say. I think that there's a popular argument going around right now that people think Titanfall 2 should be delayed from its original, you know, release date, and I think that as well. I think it really has to be, you know, pushed back a little bit, so it's not trying to compete with other games like Call of Duty and Battlefield 1. I'm pretty sure Titanfall 2 is only coming out a couple days, actually, after Battlefield 1, which I think will be a bit of a problem. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about for this video. Thank you guys for watching. This is the first video that I'm doing on this channel. It's me and my friend Dylan. We're both called Dylan, so it's called Dylan Squared. We'll be making videos on there separately and together. This is just the first video for that. If you liked this video and want to see other videos by me, by Dylan, by us together, just hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Get this going. You can also follow us on Twitter if you want, or subscribe to us on Twitch. We haven't done any streams yet. Follow us on Twitch. We haven't done any streams yet, but that is definitely something we're planning. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave you here with a couple, like a minute maybe, of just the menus I was talking about, and that's been Stash.
6-4.